evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Season 5 of the Mid-Atlantic Mauling League. We are in the first competition of the season. Oh, S. Beaver, thank you so much for the sub. I very much appreciate it. As well as Old Gamer Mike, thank you very much for the sub. And Berserker Tempest too. Wow, thank you very much for your generosity, folks. Welcome to Death to the Elves and Humans. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Welcome back to the Mid-Atlantic Mauling League. We are starting a brand new season. 27 teams, all fresh, ready to go. TV 1 million tonight. We're going to have a really good one, I think, tonight. I have no idea what to expect. Two what I would consider fairly new teams. Hank the Ranger with the sub too. Thank you so very much. My goodness. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you very much. Festung, thank you. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the league, in fact, as well. Wow, I'm really excited. We have, I don't think you call it a doubleheader. Three's a triple header. No, that's not the word I want. Oh, that's right. A quadruple header. 4 games tonight. We're getting started with the season opener tonight. It's going to be the Lizard Wizard Gizzfest versus the Birds of a Feather. Melik versus Galeshi. It's going to be Norse versus Elven Union. That's a hard G. That's a hard G. I promise it is. Let's take a look at the standings before we take a look. That's right. It's Gizzfest. Before we take a look at these two teams. So normally in the off season, I spend some time updating graphics and stuff. This time in the off season, I decided to redo all the software behind the scenes. It was becoming a hacky mess. So I redid most of it. There's still some kinks to work out, but boy, I'm a lot happier. Things are a lot smoother for me. Not the least of which is being able to support all these teams. We're in Division A tonight. It is a 27 team competition. That's 3 divisions with 9 teams each. That's going to be 9 weeks of regulation. We've changed the rules a little bit here in this season as well. It's going to be not a cut to top 4, a cut to top 8. The top 2 teams from each division, along with the 2 highest placing teams besides, will make the cut to top 8 into a quarterfinal bracket at the end of week 9. There's stop the count now. That's right. BB, thank you very much for the sub. Right, so 9 teams per division. That's 9 weeks of regulation play with a bye week for each team. Every team plays every other team in the division once, so that's 8 games to play. And we're getting started tonight in Division A. In Division A tonight, we're going to have Malik's Lizard Wizard Gizzfest versus Galeshi's The Birds of a Feather. Norse versus Elven Union. We haven't seen Norse since, I think, Season 1. Festung with the sub. Thank you guys very much. I very much appreciate this. Thank you very much. You guys are very kind. I am glad to be back here sharing this game. I love Blood Bowl so much. I will not slip up. Norse versus Elven Union. We haven't seen Norse, I think, since Season 1, and they've been changed pretty dramatically here in the BB 2020 rules. I don't think we've seen Elven Union ever in the league, so that's going to be fun as well. We've got BB Nuts, Bowleaf Broncos, a Nurgle team in Division A. Connor is a newcomer to the league. Dangerous Night Crew, they're going to be a Dark Elf team. El Nuberino's back with the Gutterballs. They're an Orc team. Ajax, new to the league, but not new to the game. The Fishy Fiends, Chaos Renegade team. Festung's MAML Nightmare and Necro team. Eric is back. Pain and Killers, a Dark Elf team. And JD Whitey returns as well with the Blitzburg Steelers, a Skaven team in Division A. In Division B, 2-time league champion and the current league champion, Nick Satan, is sporting a halfling team. Dream a Wish Foundation is in Division B. S. Beavers, Wooden Men, and Iron Trees, a Wood Elf team in Division B. Cobblestorm's Goddard gets a Goblin team in Division B. Berserker Tempest, Vesuvian Lavabacks, a Lizardman team in Division B. Oh boy, Boot Polish, thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much for the hype train. I'm pretty hyped. It's been a couple of months. I'm very excited. Thank you again. Spire's Philosopher's Song, a Lizardman team. Dead Fred's The Pip Stars with You Know It. They're going to play tonight. Pippy makes his return to the league. My team, I'm babbling already. Techno Babble Inc., a human team in Division B. Ian the Disco Master is a Necro team, and Chimes, Conspicuous Disunion, also a Necro team in Division B. Yeah, BPNS is 3 lizard teams and 2 necro. Good luck. Yeah, so if you're unfamiliar with the league rules, when there's a divisional, we have voting for how the division groupings happen. The system generates 3 different groupings. You vote for which one you prefer. Whichever one gets the most votes wins. This was not my pick. I absolutely did not want that pick, but so it goes. In Division C, Doug the Minotaur returns with the Dinabell Darlings, a dwarf team. They are back. Venger back into the league with Imitation Skaven and Nathan, a human team. Con Kill, new to the league. Entanglements there, an imp team. Tizzle Bizzle returns with the Tizork Savage Boys, an orc team. Old Gamer Mike here in Division C. The Goodest Boys strike back, a necro team. Clyphus's Odin and Snuffle, a Norse team. Moobs, NC Snakes, a Dark Elf team. War Horseman, Nerdrum Nose Count, a Norse team. And Electric's Man, new to the league. As Bad As Raiders, they're an undead team. Wow. Wow, that's a lot of teams. We've got just a few minutes before this game starts. Let's talk about these. I spent a lot of time going over the teams because I don't know what to say about these 2 teams tonight. The home team, the Lizard Wizard Gizzfest, coached by Malik, coming in a TV of 980,000 gold. Of course, a fresh team. They have just the 2 rerolls. You can see what's new with Norse. Norse tend to be fragile. You can see AV 8+. They have a number of players with Frenzy. You can see the linemen all have block. They're also drunkards. That means it's a -1 to all their rushes. There will be no rushing with these linemen. But what I am most excited for, of course, is the Beer Boar. The Beer Boar comes in an MA of 5, just 1 strength, 3 edge, and an AV of 6. What do? Well, anybody within 3 spaces who is knocked down, anybody who's knocked down within 3 spaces of this piece at the beginning of their turn, you roll a die on a 5+. They'll stand up for quote unquote free. So that's that'll be very interesting to see how that goes here for Malik this evening. I've played a little bit of Norse, not enough to really know what I'm doing, but I love those Beer Boars. They're basically snotlings that wake people up with some booze, right? Like 2+, you can get wherever you need. You can get the assist you're looking for. It's pretty cool. Galeshi's the Birds of the Feather, coming in 11 players on the roster, 965,000 gold, 4 dedicated fans, 2 rerolls. They have 2 blitzers, 2 catchers, 1 thrower, and the rest are linemen. Elven Union, right? These pro elves, these are the passing elves. You can see both catchers, not only do they have catch, but they have Nerves of Steel. They cancel all marks on passes, on catches, or pass interference as well. They have the 2 blitzers who have block and sidestep. These are the quote-unquote passing elves. So if we're going to see any passing this competition, it's going to be with this team. They have the skills out of the gate. There's passing skills, Nerves of Steel out of the gate to make passing a little more reliable. Even though they're the quote-unquote passing elves, you don't want to rely on the passing game. You just want to threaten the passing game because passing is the riskiest thing you can do. You know what? I'm going for the long bomb. That's going to lose you game. Instead, if you can set up your run and threaten the quick pass, well, now you've got a viable offense where the defense has to spread out. They have to cover both. That means they're not piling players in. They're not collapsing down on your offense and preventing your run from moving. Your run can dump that ball off and go score pretty easily. Being elves, they have excellent agility. They have excellent speed as well. So we'll see how this game goes. I don't really know how Norse is going to play against an elven team. I haven't seen the new Norse team play too much. I've played a few games myself. I love the Beer Boar. Again, the Beer Boar, not just for the 5+ on the stand-up, but they're basically snotlings. You can get them to where you need them to be to get that assist, to get the 2-die block, maybe even a 3-die block. We'll see. I have been so incredibly busy over the last week. It's been nuts. Like I'm just on overdrive. BB Nuts says North should be favored this game, but it's rookie BB. There is a world the elves bash out the Norse. There's always that world. Lots of money going to these 2 teams after the game. 7 fan factor for the Birds of the Feather. Just 2 for the Gizzfest. The Gizzfest. Here's coin toss. Clear skies for this game. Birds of Feather are going to win the coin toss. And the Gizzfest are going to set up on defense to start this game. Season opener for season number 5. The winners, we have 3 open competitions this season. The winner of each competition, along with the runner-up, will earn an invitation to our championship competition at the end of the season, the Blood Bowl. That is an invitational. It's not just the winners, well, it's not necessarily just the winners and the runners-up, but depending on how many teams qualify, you can even have 3rd place teams, 5th place teams, and so on qualify. We had 11 teams qualify for the Blood Bowl last season, and it was a lot of fun to watch. It's going to be even more competitive this season. Again, 8 make the cut here in these opens instead of the 4 before. So lots of opportunity to make it to the top 8 cut and earn a spot in the Blood Bowl. Boot Polish says, I got $1. Ava messes up Gizzfest tonight. Electrics fan says, their Union Elf's Bass is not in their job description. That is very true. 3 on the line here for the Gizzfest. They've got the beer board in the middle linebacker position. Once they get that 3x3 square and as many tagging as many friendlies as possible. These frenzy players here, this is going to be a little tricky here for Malik. He's got to make sure he's setting this up so he doesn't put himself into an uphill block situation with the second block. Frenzy means if you take a block on your first block and it results in a push, you must follow up and you must take a second block. That second block, all the rules apply to that second block. So if you frenzy yourself in a position where your opponent's now getting assists on you, you could find yourself in trouble and risking a turnover. BB Nut asks, is it the top 2 and the best 7th and 8th makes the playoffs? Yeah, it's the top 2, right? And then once you sort of take the top 2 out from each division and you rank all the other teams as if they were in one big division, it would be the 2 left at the top. 3 on the line for the Gizzfest, 5 on the line for the offense here. Birds of a Feather, this Elven team. The problem I have with Elven Union here is just the lack of skills at low TV. But they are elves, right? Edge 2+ is fantastic. Fairly fast team as well. Number 11 thrower back to receive naturally. Here's going to be the first kick of the season. 2 rerolls apiece. It's a timeout. All right. We're starting with turn 2. 1 turn down. Darkest Dung with the raid. Thank you so very much. Welcome to the stream. Thank you kindly. I appreciate it. 2-die block to get things started this season. Gets the knockdown on number 11, the left defensive end. Looking for an 8+. There's the armor break. Got a KO. First removal of the season. Well done. 1-man player advantage now for the Feathers. Am I going to call them the Feathers? The Birds. Maybe I call them the Birds. Thanks again, Darkest Dung. I appreciate it. Oh, no worries. Again, thank you for the raid, Darkest Dung. I appreciate it. Thanks for dropping by. Ah! Turn 1, turn 2, I suppose. Turn 2, death. This is how you start a season. Oppo saves the player. Oppo spent here in turn 2 of the game. Center defensive tackle murdered, but Doogie Howser saves the day. Ball kicked to the opposing 14-yard line. Taking the blocks here. Birds of a Feather taking the blocks first before securing this ball. A little bit of a risk. Not too bad. Good 2+ pickup here. Thrower in position of the ball on their own 14-yard line, just inside that right wide zone. Berserker Tempest says, how do you let a filthy elf kill a Norse? Norse are, in all seriousness, Norse are a little bit of a brittle team. You can see they have a lot of AV8 on their roster. That's Wood Elf territory. Spreading out the left side of this offense. Turn 2 now for the Gizzfest. This is their first turn after the timeout on the kickoff event. Electric dance. You know what? Let's get a second opinion. Yeah, so I see you're not actually dead. Your first doctor, he didn't know what he's talking about. You're fine. 2 minutes on the clock every turn. You can dip into your bonus clock. You can see each team has 7 minutes, 30 seconds on the bonus clock that they can dip into over the course of the game. Regulation play can end in a draw. That means after the second half of the game, there'll be no more play. But cut the top 8 as well as the Blood Bowl, there can be no draws. Those will go to overtime. He was taken to a better hospital, which upgraded his status to actually living. 2-9 block, or 2-9 blitz here by the Gizzfest. Gets a knockdown, no armor break. Again, has to follow up with that Ulfwerner there due to Frenzy. That can be good and that can be bad. Once you start to learn the game more, well, I shouldn't say once you start to learn the game more, but if you can position your Frenzy so that you're getting a solid 4 dice out of it, that's more dice to get the PAL. But even the best coaches might sometimes find themselves taking a tricky Frenzy block, hoping for the best. $20 seconds left on the clock. Repositions that beer board just a little bit. Off to the right side. Not a lot of defense on the, or off to the left side, I should say. Not a lot of defense on the right side here. Lots of games this evening. After this game at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we're going to have NC Snakes versus Nerddrum's Nose Count. That's going to be Dark Elf versus Norse, Moob versus War Horseman. A little bit later after that, at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, that's UTC -5, by the way. We're going to have Philosopher's Song versus the Pip Stars. That's a Lizard Mirror match. Spire versus Dead Fred. And then we're going to round out the evening at 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Gutterballs versus the Fishy Fiends. That's going to be El Nubarino versus Ajax Orcs versus Chaos Renegades. Turn 3 now for the Birds of a Feather. They have the ball on their own 14. This is their second turn, remember, of the half. Lost turn 1 due to a timeout. Yeah, so like I said, I spent the offseason we call it refactoring, rewriting all the software. I wrote all the software in the background for league management, and it got, you couldn't see it last season, but like it was so hacky, like it was such a pain to keep up with, and I was like, I gotta redo this. So I redid it. There's some little odds and ends that need to be fixed. I didn't want to delay the competition, so I said, you know what, we'll start the Chaos Cup, and we'll see what happens. And boy, there are a lot of little bugs. But hopefully I'll get them all sorted out by weekend's end. Tudai Blitz in the left wide zone gets a knockdown. No armor break on Gamma Knife. It's a great song. Number 6 Norse Berserker. Tudai block on Big Fig Wasp. Gets a push. Kaleshi continuing to take these blocks, trying to carve out the left side of the pitch. Lots of movement. Moves laterally back to center pitch. You can see he's trying to carve out this pitch here. Has the spacing where he's trying to prevent a blitz coming in this way, but does have a little bit of a gap over here. Kind sir, welcome to the stream. A kind sir says, boo, no Yeti, boo. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Poop Polish says, I only played Norse in BB2 for the Yeti. Yeah, I thought Norse was okay in the old rule set. I'm not sure where they stand here in the new rule set. I think they're very interesting. 2 plus dodge, turn 3 now for the Gizzfest. The Gizzfest. What else could it be if not Gizzfest? There, surely that there's no other way to pronounce that word. Minute 43 on the clock here for Malik. Malik repossessioning the defense. Taking a mark on Condor. Condor, the Condor, the number 4 catcher over at the left wide zone. Spire says surfs up. Yeah, remember Frenzy, you get 2 blocks. And what that means is if you're not careful, you can be surfed right off the pitch, even if you're 2 spaces away. Well, that ain't gonna do it. Nana got infinity here. The number 3 Ulf Werner on the Frenzy, deciding if he's going to spend the reroll here. He's going to do it. He's going to get a knockdown out of this. Cobblestorm says Norse linemen are OP. They rush on a 1 in 9 failure rate instead of the league the Games Workshop mandated 900%. That is very strong. Spent the reroll, but got the defender stumbles result. The defender with not having the dodge skill means they're going to get knocked down there. There's no surf. One of the few times he was really looking for a push. Gizzfest on the bonus clock. Look at this little guy. Look at this guy. Look at him. Brilliant. Gizzfest repositioning, really trying to hold the left side of the pitch. And now it's the Gizzfest with a gap in their defense. A couple of gaps in their defense, in fact. Got a gap here. We've got a potential gap here. You can see that there are marks on these players already. So that means that a blitz doesn't need to occur on these players. Just need to get the assist and then you can get the block. Pupa says gap or bait. Birds of a Feather are gonna send, is it Revelor? I think it's gonna be Revelor. Revelor, the Osprey. The number 3 catcher is gonna move down the right wide side of the opposing 10-yard line. Remember, Elven Union catchers also have nerves of steel. They double as passers and catchers. Nerves of steel can also be used on catches as well. Catches in not interceptions. What do they call now? Pass interference. 2-die block on Paper Mache Dream Balloon. Gets the knockdown. No armor break on the Snake Eyes. 40 seconds left on the clock. Here comes the blitz. The Harpy Eagle on the blitz. Gets the knockdown thanks to the block skill. Looking for an 8+ on this Valkyrie. King Gizzard gets knocked down. Gizzard down! Valkyrie is going to advance to their own 6-yard line. Still hasn't crossed the line of scrimmage here in turn 4. Iron Cynic, welcome to the stream. Iron Cynic says, seems a bit early to push forward. Don't want to be pushed in early if you can help it. I would agree. Especially if you're an Elven team or a fast team or an agile team. You can sit back and wait to see how the pitch develops before committing somewhere and then having to fight your way out of maybe a precarious situation. Finally failed to dodge here. Trying to get away from Nonagon Infinity. And doesn't want to re-roll that. That's totally fine. Stays on the pitch. Turn 4, final turn of the first quarter. The Gizzfest on defense. So far, holding this offense from crossing the line of scrimmage. I think the offense probably hasn't wanted to cross the line of scrimmage. Boopo says armor 8 fail dodges scare me. Yeah. We used to call that AV7. I think everyone's well aware of how fragile that is. It's pretty fragile. There's an armor break. Well done by the Gizzfest. And now that's a 2-man player advantage for the Elven Union team. Lizard Wizard, the number 2 Valkyrie off the pitch. No, I think it's a 1-man player advantage. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1-man player advantage. 37 seconds left on the clock here. Gizzfest on defense. Really trying to hold the left side of the pitch. Had the one player out on the right side of the pitch, in the right wide zone. Got blitzed into oblivion. And now the Gizzfest retreating on the right side here. Still pretty loose on the right side with the defense. We'll see if Birds of a Feather try to shift right here in just a second. Foul with the beer bore. BB Philo, welcome to the stream. No armor break by the beer bore. Needed an 8+. Rolled a 7. Gizzfest back on the bonus clock. They're down to 6 minutes, 6 seconds after the unsuccessful foul. Didn't get called off the pitch. When you foul, it's a straight armor roll. And then if you break armor, of course, it's an injury roll. If you roll doubles at any point during that foul, you'll get called off the pitch. The ref will see you and say, hey, none of that. Second quarter begins here. Turn 5 for the Birds of a Feather. They're on offense. They are on their own 6-yard line, just outside the left wide zone. They're doing a pretty good job here. They have the player advantage. They have a 1-man player advantage. They did lose their catcher here, number 3, but that's all right. Did I block on Gamma Knife? Norse Berserker gets a push out of this. BB Nut says the Beer Boars are okay. They're a poor man's Fox. That's another team I haven't seen at all. The Gnome team. Pig me up is OP. 50 seconds here for Birds of Feather. Take the 1-die block on Nunagon Infinity. We're going to get the knockdown here. Looking for a 9+. Didn't get it. BB Nut says, I'm playing Gnomes this weekend. Oh, you're playing a Gnome team? Like, you're fielding the Gnome team? I would love... I am so surprised that Gnomes didn't release in BB3 when they released in Tabletop. That surprised me. It felt like there'd be some synergy there. Ten seconds left on the clock here for the Birds of a Feather. They've got a solid offensive line here on the left side of the pitch, really fighting this left side. I don't have an anvil. Welcome to the stream. Says I played Gnomes in my Tabletop League last season. Lots of fun. I'm sorry, not lots of fun. Tons of fun. A ton is a standard unit of measurement greater than lots. Still not crossing center pitcher. Not crossing that line of scrimmage. Has a solid line around the ball carrier currently. Down to 4 minutes, 25 seconds on the bonus clock. Still has both rerolls. What's fun? What's heavier, a ton of fun or a ton of feathers? 50-50 dodge here by Starling. Gets in front of King Gizzard. King Gizzard herself. Turn 5 now for the Gizzfest. That's right. Boot polish. Boot polish has all the units. Gizzfest considering their options here. They don't need to get super aggressive. If they can stop the score, that's really all a defense needs to do, right? If they could stop the score, they've done their job. Hasn't needed to, or hasn't seen a lot of need for the Beer Boar's pick-me-up ability currently. Beer Boar well off to the left side. So not maximizing the Beer Boar's pick-me-up range. Boo. 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 Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Gizzfest, Malik really taking the time here in this turn, really trying to figure out how he wants to try to either stop, well, not just stop the score, but maybe even try to get in on this ball. 2-die blitz on the left side of the offensive line, gets the knockdown on Condor, breaks armor, there's the injury. All tied up, 9v9 on the pitch now. Blitz has been spent, so there'll be no block on the ball, or there'll be no blitz on the ball carrier. Great removal. Took an uphill block here with Gamma Knife. Wow. Took the uphill block. It's going to be a knockdown. Malik hoping Gamma Knife stays on the pitch unless he spends his reroll. Oh, yeah. Second block on the Frenzy. That's what we were talking about earlier in the game. Had to follow up on the first block. Second block was disadvantageous. It was a 2-die uphill block. Oh, thank you very much, BB Philo. Pushes the beer boar off to the side. We might see a surfed beer boar coming up. Nope, gonna blitz. Nonagon Infinity instead gets a push out of this. He's now set up his offensive line here, pushing out 2 players, taking them out of the drive, reducing the number of players he has to worry about on this defense. Picking off players is a tactic you've got to learn in this game. Obviously, removing players gives you an advantage. It's clear that those players can't do anything if they're off the pitch. But if you can push them out of the drive, if you can push them to the side and keep them at bay in such a way that whatever actions they take is going to be either not congruent with your opponent's strategy or disadvantageous to your opponent, then that's also a pretty strong tactic as well. 2-die uphill block on King Gizzard. Why are the dice changing on King Gizzard? Gets a push. Three turns left in the half. Will we see the ball carrier across the line of scrimmage here? Blitz still on the table. Pushy Gizzard. Under 4 minutes on the bonus clock now for Birds of a Feather. They've opened up a lane here in the left wide zone. It looks like they're going to try to press their advantage. They're going to try moving the ball through the lane they've just opened up. I've been so very busy the past couple of weeks. Well, maybe the past week, I would say. Work busy. Obviously, lots of league work I had to get done for the beginning of the season. Oh, I got a new oven this week. And, oh, thank you very much for the bits. Gizzard use push. Thank you very much for the bits, Tempest. Berserker Tempest, I appreciate it. Setting up a 4-point cage in the left wide zone here on turn 6. Now crossing the line of scrimmage on the opposing 10-yard line in the left wide zone. I got a new oven this week. They installed it on Tuesday. It's a lovely oven. I fired it up for lunch. I was going to put a frozen pizza in the oven. The oven caught fire. Yeah, so the oven caught fire, and that was my Tuesday. So I hear the little chime or whatever that it's at temperature. I'm like, great. I walk into the kitchen. There's just flame in the oven chamber. So I pull the fire extinguisher off. I have a fire extinguisher in the kitchen. Always have a fire extinguisher on every floor of your house. So I pull the fire extinguisher off, put out the fire. There is smoke and fire retardant everywhere. The smoke alarm goes off. The alarm company calls and asks if I'm fine. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, you sure? I'm like, I'm sure. No. So it turned out the technician finally came out today, and it turned out there was some piece of plastic under. So I have gas. I don't have gas. My oven uses gas. So, there was a piece of plastic under the bottom panel of the oven chamber. I don't know what it was, but he disassembled the oven and pulled that bottom panel off, and by the I don't know what you would call these things, but by the piece that would light up, there was just some plastic thing, and that's what caught fire. Gets a pal on the blitz here. And so the technician was super nice. He cleaned it all out, and I was like, hey, can you actually clean out all the plastic? Because I am not going to turn an oven on if there's like, I'm not going to put food in a box with like plastic fumes. And he cleaned it all out. He even cleaned out all the fire extinguisher stuff. He was scrubbing. So yeah. It seems all fine now. We'll see. I haven't lit it back up yet. I said I'd do it within the week. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so that was Tuesday. That set me back like a full 24 hours for the rest of the week. Oh no! Tizzle Bizzle! Tizzle Bizzle says my youngest son forgot to put water in his ramen noodles and lit my microwave on fire on Tuesday. Oh no! Man, I don't even know. Yeah, I guess they just ignite. Like, what do you... What? Oh. Back on the bonus clock here for the Gizzfest. Turn 6. Now they're collapsing their defense down on this offense. Still got to cover the sideline. These beer boars are like snotlings. All their dodges are going to be a 2+. They get a mark on the thrower. Turn 7 for the birds of a feather now. Penultimate turn of the half for birds of the feather. They have to end this turn in scoring position. You can see, being an elven team, fairly fast. MA6, MA7. Already in scoring position with 2 rushes. 2-die block on Nonagon Infinity gets the PAL here. Looking for a 9+. Didn't get it, but good knockdown. Holy moly. Once upon a time, I used to microwave stuff on 99 minutes because I was an idiot, says Boot Polish. I don't even know. A, I don't know what that would do to stuff inside the oven chamber. B, what's that energy bill look like? Oh no! No! Beer boar, no! KO on the beer boar. Wawa, number 16. Like, I feel like if you put a microwave on 99 minutes, the energy company just comes out and knocks on your door and just says, seriously, man? Seriously? Somebody needs to give a pick-me-up to the beer boar. He does have a barrel of beer in his back. That is a little taxing. Gets a PAL on Evil Death Roll, breaks armor. The bashiest of elves gets a stun out of this. That's effectively taking this player out of the game for the rest of the half. All beer boars should be named Kevin. Good 2+ dodge by the thrower. Currently the ball carrier on the opposing 12-yard line. Has daylight ahead. Probably doesn't want to score this turn. And we'll stay put. Turn 7 now for the Lizard Wizard Gizzfest. Coming up after this game at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's UTC -5. That will be roughly an hour and a half from now. We're going to have the NC Snakes versus Nerdrum's Nose Count. That will be Moob versus War Horseman. Dark Elves versus Norse, another Norse team. Boot Polish, thank you very much for the bits. We'll see if they shall pass. I think Kaleshi's got a different opinion on that. Gizzfest with the 2-die block on Magpie. Gets a PAL, looking for that 8+. It's not a lot. No armor break. Blitz still available. Situations like this is where I find the beer boars handy. Again, they're like snotlings, right? So if I need to get that assist for the 2-die, I can just sneak them in there, get that assist, get the 2-die block. "23 seconds left on the clock here for the Gizzfest." Thanks for hanging out, BB Philo. Thank you very, very much. Have a good night. Thanks again. I appreciate it. 1-die block into Skull. Has to spend the reroll here. Gets a push. Frenzy follow-up. 1-die Frenzy follow-up gets another push. This will not be a surf. Decides to push the ball carrier back. Ball carrier now on the sideline. BB says, "Why no surf?" Yeah, I'm not sure. Elected to not go for the surf. Pushes the ball carrier back instead. Gonna try to lock down this ball carrier here. Turn 8 now for the Birds of a Feather. Could have been a misclick. Could be a strategy choice. I'm not sure. I don't have an anvil. Says double crowd surf for the elves. Let's go. Let's see it happen. Let's see it happen. Nonagon Infinity and Paper Mache Dream Balloon, both Ulfwerners here on the left on the left sideline. Segnor's Loop said didn't want to get surf back. Well, that's still an option here though. Birds of a Feather have to score this turn. It's turn 8. So the thrower pushed out of scoring position. That means it's going to have to come down to one of the further ahead players. 2-die block gets a push out of this. There's the first surf. Wow, no sound on that. It's just a silent beating, just a quiet, shh, we're going to break your bones now. Don't worry about it. 2-die block on Paper Mache Dream Balloon. This will also be another surf here. Also be another surf? Also be a surf. That's right. Go to sleep. That frees up the lane, but who's going to be the one to score? It's probably another block coming. I don't know where it would come from. Actually, I don't think it can be a block. It's going to have to be. It's going to have to be a negative handoff to a dodge, or just a pass. Three to 3. That's a 1-die block against the block skill with 2 rerolls. I don't think it really helps. Well, it does help. Woo! Here's a blitz. Dodge City into the blitz. Gets a push out of this. Will push to the right. And that's going to free up Starling. So a handoff to Starling to the 2+ dodge to score. Good catch. And there it is. 2+ dodge. Successful. Well done by Galeshi and the Birds of a Feather. They're going to take the lead here in the first half, 1-0. Very well done. Wow, did everybody come back onto the pitch here for the Gizzfest and nobody for the Birds of a Feather? That's right. That's all you got to do is roll 6s. Can't spell Starling without star. 1-0 the score. The Birds of a Feather in the lead. 1 turn left in the half. We'll see what the Gizzfest can get out of this. Birds of a Berserker Tempest demanding death. He says, look, you're Norsemen, they're elves, kill somebody on this turn 8, will ya please? 9 on the pitch here for the Birds of a Feather. I think 10 on the pitch here for all 11. That's right, he got everybody back. We'll see if this 2-man player advantage sticks for the second half. Going to try to block down the line here. Leaving the Beer Boar on the sideline. Here's the kick. It's really more of a throw than a kick. All right, it's not going to matter so much for the Gizzfest here. We'll see what they can do on the line. It's a free catch here with King Gizzard. Going to try to get some SPP. It's another tactic. If you're new to the game of Blood Bowl, it's another tactic you need to get familiar with. Really trying to maximize your actions, and especially in league play. And that means, like, even, you know, you can't score on this half or this turn. So what do? Take some blocks that didn't turn out so well there, but also try to get some SPP, right? So if you have the ball in somebody's hand, throw it to somebody, maybe get that 1 point of SPP, and that's gonna build up over time. Did not get back the KO here in the second half. Electric Man says no boos on the field. I think there will be now. The Gizzfest setting up for offense for real this time. Birds of a Feather to set up their defense. Ferdinand QC, welcome to the stream. Says I'm on my on a 4-game streak of 4 insanely unlucky games. Sometimes one is just powerless to face the dice. Pick your poison between 8 double skull a game, 12 dice. Fail to pick up the ball. Roll a throw teammate, but roll a 1 throw teammate somehow scatters right into my isolated ball carrier 7 squares away, putting him in KO and him landing perfectly. And this keeps going on and on, melting down. Look. Sometimes the fault in Blood Bowl is not your strategy, it's not your tactics, it's not your team composition. It's the fact that you're not saying your prayers to Nuffle. You've got to build the altar. You've got to say your prayers every night to Nuffle. It's an important part of the game. 9 on defense, 11 on offense. I imagine we're going to see Wawa take back to the pitch here. No, he's going to leave the Beer Boar on the sideline. All right. 5 on the line for this offense. Both Valkyries back to receive. Both Lizard Wizard and King Gizzard. I guess I should say those opposite. King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard are on the pitch. A high kick once more. Ball's going to go in the hands of King Gizzard. King Gizzard, the ball carrier. Cobblestone BB says protecting the most important player on the team. 2-die block on the line. This time it's not going to be a turnover. A knockdown on the Timber Doodle, the number 10 lineman. Looking for an 8+. No worries, Ferdinand. We've all been there. 2-die block against Magpie. Gets a push here. Magpie, the center defensive tackle. The nose tackle, as it were. Final block on the line is going to be a Powell against the Woodpecker. Again, looking for an 8+. 2-man player advantage currently for Lizard Wizard Gizzfest. They're down 0-1. Very first game of the season. Lots and lots of games to play. They've got, every team has at least 8 games to play here in the Chaos Cup. That's 8 games of SPP to accumulate. They can carry this team over to the Spike Magazine Trophy and the Dungeon Bowl as well. And if you make the cut to top 8, well, that's 3 more potential games you have to play, and that much more SP. There's the injury. Well done. 3-man player advantage for the Gizzfest. I don't have an anvil, says. I'm pretty sure Nuffle's just corn in disguise. We're going to have to wait for the source book. Yeah, so one of the things in the software I did, if you remember, if you participated in earlier seasons, like in season 4, so we used to have graphics. Like I had a bot, like auto-generate graphics for standings and scheduling, so that they could just be thrown into the chat, in Discord chat. But with 27 teams, it's very difficult to format that in a readable way. So. So we had I had the bot spit it out in separate dedicated channels instead, but I still have the interstitials. So what used to happen was every one of the brackets were a separate graphic, and it was an absolute nightmare. So now the code just automatically determines like the state of a competition. Like, I'm not going to get too far down the rabbit hole here because nobody cares. But there is no, in the database, there's no concept of winners or losers or even who's in a competition. Everything's results based. So it's just these 2 teams played on this date. Here are the results. And everything else is calculated from that. So like determining bracket structure and stuff, that's all done on the fly. And so what? 5+ dodge on the blitz on the ball carrier. Gets a knockdown, or gets a push out of this. It's going to remain alive. Said, I see your cage. Do you think I'm afraid? Berserker Tempest, thank you for the bits. Head for the hills. Dead Freddy, welcome to the stream. So now it's all one graphic. So it will, the standings, you know, if we're in a cut or if we're in the Blood Bowl or whatever it is, it will just calculate that all for me. I don't have to know anything about anything. Like I don't have to say, oh, I need this graphic. It's just, give me what I need, computer. And it gives it to me. I'm very, very relieved. Among many other sort of behind the scenes niceties that will help my life immensely. Anyway, turn 9 for the Birds of the Feather. Wow, that just casually walks in on the cage. 2-die uphill on the left side of the line and still stays alive here. No fear. This is what you have to do. This is praying to Nuffle. He said, you know what? Nuffle, take the wheel. Take the wheel, Nuffle. Breaks armor, gets a stun out of it. Just a minute 36 left on the bonus clock here for the Birds of a Feather. 2+ dodge, repositions on the front left corner of what was once a cage until the Golden Eagle himself said, Hank the Ranger says, what date will your database become Skynet? I don't know, but I hope it kills me first. I don't want to live in the robot apocalypse. Failed dodge. Spends a team reroll to reposition Magpie in front of the cage. Going aggressive here. Trying to stop the score. Might even be going after the ball to try to go up 2-0. Turn 10 now for the Gizzfest. Malik with just 2 minutes 33 seconds left on the bonus clock. 43 seconds left on the bonus clock for Galeshi. Dead Freddy says, we're already in the opening credits. Yeah, it seems that way. It sure does. Two-die block on the Golden Eagle. Just going to get a push. You can't keep him down. You can't keep him down. Sidesteps to wherever he wants to go. He's going to remain marked on that ball. And now the ball carrier is going to have to take the block or the blitz against the Golden Eagle and hope for the knockdown. Golden Eagle with the block skill, remember. Blitz could come from elsewhere. Yeah, he's going to have to take it with a block player. I think it's a wise decision. But again, another push. And so with sidestep, he can go into any adjacent open square that he wants. Galeshi chooses, it doesn't have to be backwards. It can be in any adjacent open space. And so the Golden Eagle says, I'm going to stay right where I was. Thank you very much. Finally gets the knockdown on the Golden Eagle, looking for a 9+, hoping to get rid of this thorn in his side. Doesn't get it, rolls snake eyes. Berserker Tempest with the lyrics. King Gizzard going to shift laterally to the left, setting up a cage, still on the 2-yard line. Or in fact, I should say back one space on the 2-yard line. Back on the left side of the center pitch here. Turn 10 for the Birds of a Feather. They're in the lead 1-0. 2-die block with the Harpy Eagle. Gets the knockdown on Robot Stop. Wait, is that the name of the song? Robot Stop? Segner's Loop says 584 is a lot of games. It is indeed. Heavy pressure by this defense. Trying to stop the offense dead in its tracks. Not allowing this offense to stay formed up. Trying to mark everyone, split them apart into 2 camps, keeping this ball carrier from moving. 2-die block on Nonagon Infinity. Gets a push out of this. This is game 1 of 4 this evening. Our next one's scheduled for 9 o'clock p.m. Is that right? 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Or, I'm sorry, Eastern Standard Time. It's UTC -5. That is a little over 1 hour from now. Stream starts 20 minutes before game time, and we'll have a pregame 10 minutes before game time. So the stream will start. 10 minutes later, we'll have the pregame, and 10 minutes after that, we'll start the game. Lots of games to see. Oh, gets a foul out of this. Doesn't get called off. Trying to take Paper Mache Dream Balloon off the pitch. Wow, this defense. We saw this Elvin offense was very cautious, methodical, didn't want to overextend. This defense is just trying to beat these Norsemen into a pulp. Feston says, are Wednesdays and Thursdays the days you cast games? I try to stream every game that I can. I'm usually not available on Wednesdays and Fridays. But if it's any other day, provided I don't have something else critical that I need to do, I'll stream on those days as well. It's just whenever the games get scheduled. The coaches they have a week to schedule their game. If I'm available, I'll stream it. BBNet says, "Well, I remember Connor hasn't replied to either of my messages." Yep, I already. I was gonna say I already took action. I didn't. Nothing bad has happened, but I'm aware of that, and I've already tried to nudge Connor today. So Connor new to the league, so I imagine a lot of this is just, you know, whenever you're new to something, it takes a little while to get your sea legs. Festin says, "Would like to have you rip my gameplay apart one day for sure." Yeah, no problem. I try not to. I wouldn't couch it that way. I try not to be mean. Because I have no right to. I am far from the best Blood Bowl player, but I do try to just kind of talk shop because it's important, right? When you're playing games, you want to. A core conceit of gaming is trying to win. So, you know, if somebody does something good or somebody does something wrong, or you know, just talking about strategies and tactics, I think is important. Ava's horrible. He's so mean. Gizzfest shifting this cage across the line of scrimmage back to center pitch, but the right corner of this cage is already marked by Magpie. He's going to have to be a little careful here. The left corner marked as well. Turn 11 now for Birds of a Feather. Electrics Man says, "This is my first league and so far I've had a bye." So I've discovered, this is a little insight. So I've discovered the way Cyanide does it. If there's going to be a bye, the first team to register it's deterministic. So the first team to register in the division gets the bye. So you can use that information for the future if you don't want a week 1 bye. Or you can use it if you do want the bye. One die block into a skull, spends the reroll on Big Fig Wasp. Gets a pal. No more rerolls left for the Birds of a Feather. Dead Freddy says, "Never register." Got it. Or I didn't say register, but accept the invite. First team to accept the invite. Two-die blitz on the ball carrier. Got the pal on King Gizzard here. Looking for an 8+. Got the 8+. Wow, what was that? Wow, good KO. The aggression pays off. Festoon says, "Do you get an MVP or something during the bye?" You get nothing during the bye. You get a week off is what you get. BBNet says, "About to see some Elf BS?" I think so. Jared Wilkes, welcome to the stream. Jared Wilkes says, "I'd gladly take a week 1 bye with my athletes." Signer's Loop says, "Some folks may want that bye retroactively." BBNet says, "Do missing next games clear on the bye?" They do not. They do not. A bye week, and maybe calling it a bye week is a little confusing, but a bye week, turnover here on the block, got KO'd. Turn 12 now for the Gizzfest. If you have the quote unquote bye, it's as if it's a null week. So it's as if that week doesn't exist for you. So your missing next games do not clear. I say until it turns out they now do. Two-die block on the Harpy Eagle gets a push out of this. Did you hear that? Like, one of the game effects was someone sighing. Like, what's that about? it's like someone. It's like a developer just puts in he's like, Turn 12 for the Gizzfest. The ball on the ground on the Birds of a Feather's own 2-yard line. That was Snuffle. I played football in high school. We did not get bye weeks. It was nonstop from first week in August, I think it was. School starts in September. First week of August was practice every day, 8 hours a day. And then we had the preseason, which was 2 games. We would play. So when I was in high school, my high school was in Baltimore County. And in the pregame, we had to play Baltimore City teams, and they would murder us. They were so much better than we were. I mean, we weren't great. And then we just had every week there was a game until November, I think. I remember it was always a pain for us to find somebody to like run the chains because nobody wanted to do it. Oh, hey, Festoon, that's cool. Yeah, I went to school in Baltimore County. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. So you know I have cred. Ready? I went to school in Baltimore County. 3 plus dots to the 50-50 pickup. Works out. Lizard Wizard back. I shouldn't say back in control. Lizard Wizard now in control of the ball. The number 2, Valkyrie. Von Roos says, go Birds. Sure. That works. What teams have we had? We've had, obviously, the Ravens for football. We had the Orioles for baseball. I can't remember what our indoor soccer team was. The Blast. We had the Blast. We had a lacrosse team. I don't remember what they were called. BBNet says, funny enough, in rugby, we've struggled to find assistant refs. Yeah, like, nobody wants to do it. Turn 12 for the Birds of a Feather. Final turn of the third quarter. Super aggressive Elven defense, and it has been paying off. 2-die block against Gamma Knife. This is not going to work out. That is a turnover. The aggression stalls out here with the null turn. Two-die block against a player with the block skill. Both down result rolled on both dice. And that results in a turnover. So now the Gizzfest have an opportunity to try to get this offense rolling. Turn 13. They've got a significant player advantage here. We'll see if the Gizzfest tries to put the turbo on and try to win this game. I imagine they're going to try to draw this game instead. Yo, I went to school in Balmer where I put oil in my car. After I had a tall glass of water. I don't know how good my Baltimore accent is still. Gizzfest advance all the way down to the 14-yard line in the left wide zone. I'm a video game collector. There's a YouTuber, like a retro video game YouTuber, and she has the thickest mid-Atlantic accent. I was like, I know where you're from. No, no, no. I'm still in the area. T-Night block against Magpie. Gets a push out of this, looking for an 8+. Two fairly brittle teams on the roster here. The first half of the game, it was the Elven team that had the player advantage, and now the Elves are on the have the disadvantage. After PPN says, "Were you on the wire?" I was not. However, I will say, my college, not college as in like university, like when I was in high school, there was a class called college algebra. My high school college algebra teacher was the driver's ed instructor in the Borat movie. Mr. Pazinska. Fourth quarter here, Birds of a Feather turn 13. Super aggressive on this defense. Now a number of players down, a number of players prone, and they find themselves well behind the ball. Gizzfest doesn't want to have to score too early here. One die blitz into a skull. The Woodpecker is going to get knocked down. Stays on the pitch. PBNS is the ex-cop. No, well, I don't think he was an ex-cop. Wait, are we talking about The Wire or are we talking about Borat? I don't know anyone in The Wire. Also, not a documentary. Gizzfest with a push on Magpie here. Although I love The Wire. No. He was the driver's ed instructor in the Borat movie. But like he wasn't playing a character, and I didn't know he taught driver's ed. He was Mr. Pazinska. SB Beaver, welcome to the stream. SB Beaver says, "Are you sure it wasn't a documentary?" I'm sure. It's a fantastic show though. Festoon asks, "You remember the show Jersey Shore?" Yeah, I remember Jersey Shore. I had a girlfriend who loved that show. One die blitz. It's going to be a frenzy follow-up into another one die here. This will work out. 8+ on the thrower. Breaks armor. Gets a stun. Well done. Festoon said, "I lived 10 minutes from the house they shot Jersey Shore and I hated it." I would hate that too. And now the Gizzfest hanging out just outside the end zone in the left wide zone. They're on the 24-yard line. They're all but guaranteed to score. They're going to try to hang out there until turn 16. They'll come out of week 1 with a draw. BBNet says the best documentary is 7 Days in Hell and Tour de Pharmacy. I haven't seen either of them. Turn 14 for the Birds of a Feather. Really, their best bet here is to just try to force the score on turn 15, but I don't know how they're going to do it. It costs 3 MA to stand up. You can see Gizzfest have players in position to just eat up tackle zones, forcing these players who would only have MA3 to dodge around and have to spend spaces they really can't afford to spend. 2-die blitz. Double skulls! Wow! Against Gamma Knife. No armor break. I am very much a curmudgeon. Like, I don't like noise. I really, really don't like noise. I mean, noise in my house is fine. Noise from outside my house is not fine. Unless it's like, whoa, good, wow, what a murderous game. Well, I guess it's not murderous if there was no murder. Like, I don't mind normal noise, like a lawnmower or children playing or something like that. That's fine. Oh, rough week one here for this Elven Union team. Electric Man says, how do you live in a city and not like the noise? I don't live in the city. So there's Baltimore City, and then outside of Baltimore City, there's Baltimore County. SP Beaver says, you don't like noise, but yell at me shutting off all game music. That's different. Turn 15 for the Birds of a Feather. I feel like these past few turns has just been Nuffle telling Galeshi, he's like, you know what? I gave you 1/2. That's it. Here's the score. Well done by Malik. Ties this game 1-1 in turn 16. One turn left in the game unless there's a timeout, and I think Galeshi's really, really hoping for it. Berserker Tempest. It's not rough. It's beautiful. Electric Man says, all right, we'll call it a draw. Coming up in about 45 minutes, we're going to have, well, actually in 25 minutes, we'll have our second game of tonight's quadruple header. We're going to have the NC Snakes versus Nerdrum's Nodes Count. That's Move versus War Horseman. Dark Elf versus Norse. That's coming up at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. About 45 minutes from now. The stream, I don't know if we'll cut the stream off or not. Maybe not. But then after that, we'll have our third game. That's Philosopher's Song versus the Pip Stars. That'll be tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So probably Eastern Standard Time, excuse me. So that'll probably be immediately after the NC Snakes versus Nerdrum's Nose Count game. And then coming up immediately after that, we're going to have the Gutterballs versus the Fishy Fiends. That's El Nebrino versus Ajax. Philosopher's Song versus the Pip Stars. That's Spire versus Dead Fred. That's a Lizardman mirror match. Didn't get the timeout here on the final turn of the game, so this will be a 1-1 draw. We'll see if he gets anything out of these blocks. And then the Gutterballs versus the Fishy Fiends will be El Nebrino versus Ajax. That will be Orcs versus Chaos Renegades. So we'll have another similar game. Instead of Elven Union, we're going to see Dark Elf versus Norse. Remember, the Dark Elf squad has access to the Witch Elves. The Witch Elves have Frenzy. And then two very bashy games: Lizard Mirror Match and then Orc versus Chaos Renegades. A Hydra of matches. It says, I had to go grocery shopping, missed most of this game. Shame, I could have used some tips on playing against Norse. Apparently you just punch him in the face a bunch. BB says Dark Elves can definitely bash out Norse. Yes, absolutely. They're more resilient. They've got access to 4 blitzers. The Witch Elves are nothing to sneeze at, of course. They're fantastic players. No, do not injure the beer boar! What do you... No, that's a real foul. You can't injure the beer boar. How dare you? 1-1 the final here. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if my software works. One thing I noticed, there's a function call I have that is super duper slow. I need to fix it, but it's like pivotal to 90% of the functionality. Electric Man says, if you hurt the pig, the game ends. Yay, it works. There we go. After week 1, Lizard, Wizard, Gizzfest, and the Birds of a Feather, they will play to a draw, and they'll finish week 1, at least as of right now, in first place in Division A. Coming up in about 40 minutes. In about 40 minutes, we're going to have NC Snakes versus Nerddrum's. Man, I'm never going to pronounce that correctly. Nerddrum's Nose Count. Moo versus War Horseman. Dark Elf versus Norse. That's coming up about 40 minutes. I think what we're going to do is we'll keep the stream running. We'll just take a break for 20 minutes. And then after that, we'll kick into like our normal plan of attack. So... Oh, Galeshi, thank you very much. And thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun to watch. Thanks for participating. Thanks for playing. Thanks for hanging out. And thank you very much for the sub. It's very kind of you. Yeah, so I think we'll take a break for the next 20 minutes. We'll leave the stream running. I'll go get something to drink. And then after 20 minutes, we'll just kick into the 10-minute countdown. And then into the pregame like normal. Because after that, the games are just all back-to-back, basically. So, yeah, we'll keep the stream running. We'll just throw up the Be Right Back screen. We'll be back in about 20 minutes. We'll see you here for game number 2 of 4 tonight. Opening day of the Mid-Atlantic Mauling League. Chaos Cup Week 1. We'll see you back here in about 20 minutes.